Obviously, just got back late Saturday night from our scrimmage in the Quad Cities against Missouri, and looking forward to jumping back into the film room this afternoon with the guys and taking a look at that, and then quickly turning around preparing for Northern Iowa. So the addition of this third exhibition game as the Hurricane Relief charity game, I think, is a good thing, obviously for its intent in terms of helping areas of the country that were stricken by that, but obviously for us personally, to get a third exhibition game, and especially with this young of a group, and anytime you can get some more experience, I think by the time we get through all this, we'll have played 8 games together before we start the regular season next week. So looking forward to that. Coach Jacobson obviously does a good job at Northern Iowa. We've scrimmaged them in a private scrimmage the last couple years, and that's always been good for us. And then looking forward to Sunday with our cancer awareness game and the game against Stout, and obviously as the Guarding Against Cancer mission and foundation branches across the state, combining the playing of the WIC opponent along with events that we did up in Menominee in September, I think is a great thing for the state. We'll have some survivors and patients from that area and also from the Madison area that will be recognized on Sunday's game, and I think obviously it helps the game of basketball in the state. And I know being on the other side of that, in that league, how important this is to that league, but also the mission of both of our institutions and the entire state is to try to help people that are fighting this disease across the state. So, but like I said, looking forward to both home events this week. Jim, go ahead. Do you have to have a mic?
It helps.
Because I can't hear you from there? Okay.
It's on.
Okay. Oh, that's the rules?
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg, when games don't count in the standings, how much do you pay attention to the score? How much does winning games matter? How much do you treat it like a real game?
I try to get a mix of, obviously we like to compete and we like to have the score end up in our favor, but at the same time, I know I still have a lot to learn about these guys, and they have a lot to learn in terms of the flow of the game and who's ready and who has taken steps and who has a ways to go yet. So it's a combination of both. I'm not going to say that winning doesn't matter, because that's not true, and I'm not going to say that we're not going to experiment, because I'm going to use a lot of different guys just like I did Saturday night. We'll continue to learn, and that's again one of the benefits of having the extra game is it's another opportunity to use different combinations and play in front of a crowd, lights on. I thought we reacted and played even better and sharper than the red-white game. I thought every experience for this group has helped, and that's, if there's ever a year for us to be able to have a foreign tour and 3 exhibition games and all those things that have led up to that, to November 10th, this is optimal timing for this crew.
Greg, I think you mentioned the different combinations when we talked to you after the red and white scrimmage. How close are you in your mind to having a handle on what you can expect out of this bunch, and in particular individual players?
I think considerably closer as the days go on. I think started to notice as I put so-called the first 5 together last week for a couple days before we went to play Missouri, starting to see some things consistently show. And I thought they played like that Saturday night. I thought the guys that came off the bench and played different roles did a good job as well. I didn't think there was any poor performance per se. I think everybody is still trying to find out what their capabilities are and what their role is going to be. And I think we're starting to get to a point where we have a pretty good idea of who's going to be in the rotation. And obviously 8, 9, 10 could always be situationally based, and we'll see as we go through the year who continues to mature and develop, but also matchup wise. I use different combinations at the 4 specifically and mixed and matched throughout Saturday night's game. So we're closer. I think we're just by natural progression. It's the guys that are prepared and ready for that are starting to show up more consistently.
Will you share who those so-called first 5 were, and whether that'll change?
You didn't see the box score?
I saw a box score. It didn't really.
It didn't have
it
starters
didn't really indicate
designated.
much,
It was Trice, Pritzel, Iverson, Van Vliet, Happ.
Is there a number in your mind where rotation becomes too unwieldy, or because it can be situational to even worry about that?
Nine-ish is about where I think there'll be situations where maybe you can't go to 9, you can't go to 9 a lot. There'll be other times where you can go to 10. I think there's the first, I think 7, Davison and King were the first 2 off the bench. I think I'd have to go back through the game film. Brad Davison very quickly, but he and I thought they all handled it well, and they played different positions. I mean, we had obviously with Missouri has some size and some length, so we had some matchups there that were interesting. And I thought our guys, whether it was Hap guarding the Porter, there's 2 Porters, but the one that Michaels gets a little more attention. We had 4 or 5 different guys guard him, and I thought all did a pretty good job of I thought we got better as the game went on too defensively. I think their shooting percentage showed that. Offensively, we got to clean things up and get sharper, but defensively, I thought we were pretty consistent. We got leaky a couple times, transition, but by and large, I thought we did a pretty decent job.
I didn't see the box score either, so did you beat Missouri?
We did. For it being a secret, it was 74-66. I think Patrick tweeted that, I was told. But that's all right. I had to ask too what the score was at the end, so I didn't look at the scoreboard.
Greg, I mean, having not seen the scrimmage, if Missouri plays like Kwanzo's team usually play, they're a little more up and down. Northern Iowa's a little more like you. How helpful is that to kind of see different styles and systems back to back this early?
That's good, and that's why when we had to, obviously there was a lot of logistics that came into play, not only with scrimmaging Missouri and setting that up, but also with the hurricane relief game that had to be thrown together so quickly. I didn't realize there was that many moving parts to an event. I have a lot more respect. I always have for our event management people, but to be able to put this together, and I think there'll be 10,000, right? 10,000, what they capped it at, just because of logistics. So, and it we can't call it sold out because they weren't sold, right? Giveaway out really quickly. But that was one of the things, was knowing how Missouri played, and then who did we want to try to get. There were some logistics in terms of travel because you can't miss any time of class. So for us, I just want to make sure we were going to play the game if we could. If it was going to be here, great. But I wanted to make sure we had an experience for our team, and playing against Northern Iowa, knowing how they'll play and knowing how they played us in the past in those close scrimmages. I thought it was a good counter to what we saw from Missouri. And obviously as we go through the non-conference, we'll see a variety of styles of play, and we have to be adaptable to all.